It's clear now that Ireland is at a crossroads. We've benefited enormously from being a transit nation, hosting American capital and European labour. When we had no capital, we made American capital cheap by giving it a tax break. And when we ran out of our own workers, we absorbed in European migrants by opening our doors. In many ways, we are an American nation, half American, half European. Trading off the best of America with the best of Europe served us well. We got rich by becoming fatally obsessed with property. On the surface at least, it looked as if Ireland, after years of economic failure, had finally cracked it. Like a sporting team, it felt as if we had discovered the winning formula. That was then, and this is now. Because globalization changes everything. Everything we do in Ireland will be copied at a fraction of the cost here in China, and more importantly, on a scale that we find unimaginable. So we got a choice. Do we stand up and fight, or do we sit back and take economic decline? Now, I think we're going to stand up and fight. But to do this, we've got to find some economic advantage that is unique to Ireland. But most importantly, we've got to find something that can't be copied by this crowd here. We need to change our tactics. Ireland now needs a plan B. We've got to reinvent ourselves. It is obvious now that we need to rebalance the economy. House prices are falling, but in the long term, this is a positive. We can't liberate future generations without house prices coming back to levels that people can afford. Land is an old-fashioned basis for wealth. It is an example of hard power. But we are now living in a world of soft power, where the key to the future will be networks, creativity, and brain power. Think of the big brands around the world, Apple, Microsoft, Google, even U2. They're all driven by creative people. This is soft power, and people are the essence. Today, capital is mobile, and every economic innovation will be copied. We can't compete with Asia on costs, so we've got to find something different. For Ireland to get back on track, we need to invest in people, not property. Assuming we do this, we still have the disadvantage of being a tiny country. But we might be bigger and more powerful than we think, and some of the clues to that power might be just under our noses. While we have become dangerously complacent, our immigrants are blazing a trail, displaying the traits that we had before the boom. They are hardworking, ambitious, and hungry. And they are not going to throw away their heritage for the sake of a few quid. Like Irish exiles all around the world, they're sticking together and preserving their traditions. So every Saturday morning, while our children are watching The Den, these immigrant kids are going to school.
Education is important for every child. Teachers are not paid, they are just volunteers, and they coming every Saturday besides them's permanent job, and they are teaching children for singing, arts, and other performances.
Maths, history, geography, languages.
I'm a principal of the Lithuanian school. 3 years now. It's going to be the 4th year when I'm working in there. Our kids are Lithuanian kids, their parents are Lithuanian, and it's really sad if the kids cannot speak a word Lithuanian. I think this is very important to keep the culture as well.
These people realize that culture matters. In a globalized world, national culture is what makes you different. As well as her work with the school, Raza is a manager in a cleaning company. She rents a house in Lucan with 3 generations of her family.
I came myself 6 years ago, and after a year and a half, I brought over my mom and daughter here. After that, my sister came in with her daughter, with Katrina, and my dad as well. Most of us, we do cleaning jobs. Myself started as well in the cleaning jobs, and I'm still in that business for 6 years. I probably got used to relaxed Irish life. Everyone is sitting in the traffic, no one is in a rush, nobody cares. They all in the traffic. It's normal, it's traffic. In my country, everyone would go mad for traffic. Over there, when I go for holidays, I see the difference, the way people are, the way they communicate, the way they hard life for them is. They come here to earn some money. Some of them, they stay here for a few years and then they go back. I don't see, if I will go back after 5 years, it will be very hard for her. So I will have to look what is best for her before I make my decision, I think.
While Raza's parents intend returning home, for Raza and her daughter, their life is very much here in Ireland. They are part of our future. A visit to Raza's homeland captures just how much the EU has changed in the past 5 years and why this has implications for us. Ireland's been involved in a love affair with the EU for many years, and we've done extremely well out of this relationship. But now it is changing. Europe's epicentre is moving gradually to the east, and this is not brilliant news for us, because the new Europe is very different. Whereas we are freewheeling, the new Europe is bureaucratic. Whereas we are open, Europe is now beginning to become closed. Whereas we are firmly Atlanticist people looking out to the oceans, these people are now firmly continental. Many people in old Europe regard the United States and America as a threat, whereas we in Ireland need America to flourish for us to do well. As well as a differing worldview, these countries are seeing something much worse. Their populations are collapsing. Today, more people in Eastern Europe will die than will be born. The figures are startling. By 2050, the population of Eastern Europe will fall by 1/3. Europe, for so long the centre of the world's creativity and innovation, is dying. The EU is now populated in large part by countries that seem intent on breathing themselves out of existence. Now, this is historically unprecedented, and for Ireland the implications are enormous, because these countries are our new partners. We seem to have hitched our wagon to nations that appear to have given up on the future. Eastern Europe is a great example of how hard power, characterised by heavy resources, bureaucracies and large governments, strangles the creativity of a country, prompting the best and the brightest to leave. How many Lithuanians have left?
Official numbers show that it's almost 500,000, but I think it's much more, and everybody is guessing that it's much more.
Out of what's the total population?
3.5 million.
And it's mainly young people?
It's mainly young people, educated people who just finished university or families.
In the long run, Lithuania has a problem if it keeps exporting its young people. So what's that going to do to Lithuania?
It's already a problem. We don't have people who could work here, who could create economy, who could create something here.
Tell me about the hope for Lithuania in the European Union.
Here is very popular to say that we will do like Ireland did.
Really?
It's like example for us.
We used to be able to look to the EU for solutions, but this is no longer the case. And if they are looking to us for inspiration, where are we going to look? We need to think our way out of this ourselves. We have to rediscover that special winning formula and reinvent Ireland and Irishness to achieve our real long-term potential. If we delve deep into our history, can we see anything that gives us a unique long-term advantage? 20 years ago, something miraculous happened to the Irish football team. The boys in green started winning. But who were they? Where did they come from? And what sort of Irishness did they represent? The teams of the Charlton era embraced the widest possible definition of Irishness. The Houghtons, McCarthys and Sheedys were the demographic echo of the 500,000 immigrants who left for Britain in the 1950s. They gave us talents and options we never thought we had. And when they pulled on the jersey, they were as Irish as anyone else. They were members of the tribe.
Sheedy's won it back and Sheedy shoots. Oh, it's there!
The national soccer team has always been the sum of the parts. The sons of the diaspora have always added enormously to our talents and our potential. The soccer team is a post-nationalist national team, the very essence of globalisation. Jack Charlton's innovation was to use the talents of the diaspora to greatly enhance the prospects of the nation. Economically, maybe the global Irish tribe is our great untapped resource. Liverpool hosts the oldest Irish community in Britain, and Irish immigrants and their descendants have been central to its development. Many of the city's most famous sons have Irish roots. This cemetery tells the story of the Irish in England, because if you look at the names which you're talking about as McLaughlins, Carrs, O'Learys, O'Donnells, all people who emigrated over the years. All of them part of the 1 in 4 British people who claim to have some Irish ancestry. And 3/4 of all the emigrants who left Ireland in the last 70 years now live in England. The Blood of the Martyrs Catholic Church in Croxteth is where Wayne Rooney was baptised and confirmed a Catholic. In Liverpool, Everton are the Irish Catholic team, and there's no surprise that young Rooney was a Blue. Bob Pendleton, who scouted Rooney for Everton, remembers seeing young Wayne for the first time aged 9. How long have you been scouting?
Just over 16 years now.
What went through your mind when you first saw Wayne Rooney playing?
The boy had that special talent. As young as he was, he had that special talent. With young Wayne, it was one of them whereby once I spoke to the parents, Jeanette and Big Wayne, I had a little chat with them. I knew where his heart was, which was
Everton.
Yeah. So it can be a big plus.
But it's kind of in the blood, isn't it?
Oh yeah, very much. I mean, they're all Evertonians. Wherever you turn, there's Evertonians. I don't think there's a Liverpoolian in the Rooney family, to be honest.
The Irish tribe comes in all shapes and sizes. Some are educated, some are not. But what they all have is an attachment to this country. And while integrating into the host country, they have preserved in their heads an Ireland which is enduring. Patricia Fitzsimons, Wayne's granny, is second-generation Irish. Around here, she was well known way before her grandson, as she was born on St. Patrick's Day and led the St. Patrick's Day parade in Liverpool in the 1940s. Your granny, or what do you call it?
Nanny.
Was from Kildare, was she?
Yeah. All I remember was she was me nanny and she wore the cap and the pipe. She used to sit on the step with a jug of ale, by the way.
Of course she did.
Yeah.
And it was from her side that the Irishness came.
Yeah.
When you married Billy,
Yeah.
didn't the priest, was he kind of suspect?
Father McNamee, big priest, and he'd be on the pulpit on a Sunday and he'd bang, bang, he was terrified of him. But I remember when we put the banns up to get married, you know, he said, "What's his name?" I said, "William George Murray." And he said, "Are you sure he's a Catholic?" "I said, "I think so, Father. I'll have to make sure." He said, "With a name like that," and he was broad Irish, Father McNamee, and he said, "With a name like that." But he was a Catholic.
You're from an Irish family. It seems that everybody around here is from an Irish family.
More or less, yeah, more or less.
I mean, Colin's parents are from here as well, aren't they?
They live around the corner. There's about, on this 12 here, to my knowledge, there's 10.
And tell me about Wayne. Well, obviously Rooney on one side is an Irish name.
Yeah.
And you're Irish. So if Wayne were playing for Ireland, would you go and support them?
You know quite well about it, definitely. With my name, I'd have to, wouldn't I? I'd be the face there.
The diaspora are half-breeds. In England, they are genetically Irish, but environmentally English. They are the echo of millions of people who left the country, and like Wayne Rooney's granny, they still have a very strong emotional attachment to Ireland. So whether in business or in sport, these people are Ireland's unique resource.
Meet 23-year-old Helena Murphy, a member of the Immigrants Advisory Service in Cork.
Now, Miss Murphy, what exactly do you do?
Well, we find accommodation and employment for people going to England.
Do you have practical experience of the immigrants' difficulties?
Yes, some of us have lived in England and I myself was born there.
These exiles have paved the way for us. Without them, we wouldn't have a global footprint, nor a vibrant global brand. Nor would we get the welcome in the US, Australia and Canada that we do. The diaspora gives us a unique option that other countries don't have. Jack Charlton proved that the Irish exiles give us extra capacity in a competitive world. From an economic perspective, the global tribe is a huge resource. So why don't we go out and galvanise it?